Good evening everybody, and welcome to the Moonriders Tour, brought to you by ZMS. Tonight we're in Winterberg with a distance of 24 kilometers. There's a little bit of climbing, about 703 meters, so that should be enough to keep the climbers happy. But this is going to be one for the punchy riders, for the rollers. Here's the map showing you the elevation look. Now you can see there's a rather big downhill which is going to allow for recovery before the riders take on this final climb. And it is an uphill finish tonight, albeit only a short one after the hairpin, but I think it might catch a few people out. Few riders out. As you can see, pretty tight at the top, with Wouter taking a first place and I think third place to hold on to his lead at the top of the leaderboard. But some really good performances in the first two races, folks. The key for me in round one was the way that Nopinz Race for Brierley performed in terms of team tactics. And are they going to pull off a similar kind of tactic this evening? We'll have to wait and see, but I'm looking forward to this one. They have to try and pull back some of this gap. So here we go. It's going to be a rather fastish start. I think the riders are going to try and split it up from the line. And there you go. As I say that, riders all over the road. And it's going to go off fast and furious. You can see already Wouter Klaas is up there at the front. I can see his name. Stevens is up there. Isifor, Bellio from OTR, see his name there. Stenley, he's a regular up the front. Gavash, I just noticed, is up there. So your main contenders should be up at the front. The only rider I don't see at the moment is Matt Lucker, and he needs to get up there, because if he loses too much tonight, then he's going to really struggle to pull back the lead that Wout and his teammates have got. But let's see what happens. Let's wait until it settles down. This is we've got 24 riders here, so he could well be hidden amongst this group somewhere. But I didn't see him as we were looking through the rider list. We've got Dummer in there. Now we may have a couple of webcams, and you may be able to see the riders in their paid caves, but I haven't had notification of who's in the Zoom room yet. So I'm just trying to look down the rider list and see who we've got in there. I can see we've got two Nopinz Race for Brierley riders at least. Yeah, I can see two. I can see two OTR riders in this group. We've got Moon Riders. I can see two Moon Riders. So it looks like a good spread. But I'm only seeing, here we go, that makes 3 OTR riders as we watch Mike Adey. Now he's a very strong rider, so I expect him to be staying near the front where the action is. I've just been told by Liam from Nopinz that Matt Lucker and Steve Brierley are not racing tonight, and that's a shame, folks. But it is the best 7 of 10 to count, so they don't have to race every race. but it is a shame, and I particularly enjoy watching Steve Brierley racing because he's such a workhorse for the team. So it's a bit of a shame that they're not here tonight. Now the rider up front, Casper, we know all about him. He's class act, and he's always one that's up and near the front. So I think what we're going to see tonight is we're going to see the Nopinz guys, the Race for R team. They're the ones in the do you call it lilac, red and black and white outfits, the 3R outfits. They look really nice team kit. They're going to try and pull back a few points tonight, I'm pretty sure, but with just the two riders it could be a big ask. I don't know this Harvest, is it Thomas Harvest from Nopinz? He's from Poland, so we might get some details about him later on, and if not, I'll bring them to you in future editions if he rides more. As we look at Daniel Neubar. Now Daniel is a regular OTR racer. We've seen him quite a few times. Good solid rider. And now we're having a look at Hedidam is leading them out, but I think these are settled down. I said it would be fast and furious, and I think this opening group have got the gap they wanted, because we had 40 riders online, but I think there's about 24 in this front group. So they've thinned it down a little bit as we look at another one. Roy Rocket Neal from Manchester. He's a Masters category, 52 years of age. A tall bloke, but at 66 kilograms he must be like a stick insect. Yeah, it doesn't weigh much. And here we have Gavash, who's, I think he finished second last week, just lost out, so I'm surprised to see him making this early push on the front, to be honest, but maybe he's wanting to, he's saying no, the pace is not high enough, folks, let's get a move on. Don't know, it's hard to work out the tactics, because you've got Gav pushing off the front here, but the two Nopinz riders are just sort of like sat behind him in tandem, and were it to stay like this, you wouldn't fancy Gavash, that's for sure. But we'll see. They've got these three have got a 15-metre gap, so that's not enough to drop the likes of Hedidam and Wouter and Dummer from OTR. But and we've got Contant not far off in 7th place. He's only a few metres behind the group chasing, so this could well all come back together, folks. It's going to be interesting on this first Kickr climb. I think it goes up to about, looking at the red, it probably goes up to about 10%. So this could be a bit of a sort out for some of the riders. But then you've got that steep downhill, albeit only short into the valley, and then you transition into the next series of climbs. So yeah, right, and there we go. Contant has pulled that distance back. He's a class rider, so I did expect him to get back towards the front. And in fact, we're seeing all the main contenders here near enough at the front of the race. There's a few notable exceptions, but yeah, I don't see. I think the likes of Wouter, who's a few metres behind, will actually pull back some of this gap. Lyndon Poco, we've just watched him taking part in the in the Southern District Wheeler, so he's doubling up. Now we've got the Nopinz rider Hana, who, as I say, I don't know anything about him, but he's pushed off the front. Zach, thank you, Matt. Thank you. I didn't know his first name. So Zach Horner is pushing off the front and looking very strong. But Gav is staying with him, and who else we got up here? Casper headed on, and Stanley. So yeah, this is good. A good foursome out front, but Han is looking very, very strong as he puts in like a 7.8 watt-kilo effort to just get 20 meters. So looking extremely strong, but there's a long way to go yet. Is he going too early? I don't know. He's looking strong, but we won't really know until we get into this this second series of climbs. And if somebody's got a good gap going into that big, long, steep downhill, they can pull out, you know, 100 meters can turn into 3, 4, or even 500 meters. You know, if they've got a decent gap cresting the top of that climb. So we'll see. He's got a showing 50 meters at the moment for Hana, but expect these riders. I mean, Steinley will just be marking time. He won't be chasing down his teammate, that is for sure. The work to be done is by Gav, Casper and Contant. They're the ones that need to chase. And Walter won't panic just yet, I don't think. I think he'll know what he's capable of. He'll just be pacing himself. The time to really explode is, like I say, is possibly on this next series of climbs. That's the time to attack and pull back any distance that you happen to have lost. At least that's the way I see it. I mean, it's not necessarily going to work that out that way. As we look at Ryan once again in his pain cave, I love to see Ryan on webcam, because you can see he's a rider that's, look at him blowing, absolutely blowing, absolutely giving it everything. I mean, you know, 400 watts he's putting out here, folks, but he's giving it absolutely everything. Into the red, there you go, into the red, look, blowing like a train. Class rider. Hope he's not getting a stitch. But you can see that Wouter and Roy Neode have just upped the pace slightly. They are trying to pull back some of this distance, and they need to, because they're what, 600, 500 meters behind Hana up front, and that's getting to the level where, like I say, if he gets to the top of this next series of climbs with a decent enough gap, he's gone. They're not going to pull it back, because that will just go out exponentially when he gets onto that blue section that you can see. And if he's got the strength to sort of like bring it home on the next series of climbs, which I imagine he will have, looking at the way he's riding this. So it does look like we have a potential rider here going off the front. But having said that, look at the riders behind, Gavash and Casper, that are really putting in a big effort here to hold it at 75 meters, and they've held that for a little while now, so that tells me, you know, they could well end up coming back to him. It's nice to stay with the action, but you can just see them just underneath the trees coming around the bend. So they've got him in sight, just, but he is pulling it out. He's just gained another 6 meters there. So these two really need to work together, and there's a third rider behind them. I can't see who that is at the moment. Is it? You've got Garvey, you've got Steinley, and you've got Hedidam, yeah. I'm a little bit surprised to see Wouter Klaas falling behind a little. He's not too far. He's not too far off the pace, but yeah, it's a little bit of a surprise. He's leading the standings, but now, as I say, the interesting dynamic for me is we've no Matt Lucker and Steve Brierley taking part tonight. If Nopinz Race for Yar can take the win, then obviously they're going to take away points from Wout at the top of the leaderboard. But because it's only 7 to count out of the 10, it's going to be an interesting dynamic. Because Matt isn't going to move up, certainly, but if he's back in future editions and riding strongly, then yeah, it should be a good battle, especially if Wouter does lose a few points tonight. Hmm. 10 seconds it's saying, and yeah, it looks about that on the road, doesn't it, folks? As you can see, I like this view. I like the view from behind when you're chasing. Gavash is such a strong rider. He's such a class act. As we watch the second, so they've got 2 in the top 3. I'm never quite sure how to pronounce his name, so I pronounce it Stanley, Mark Stanley. But Mark's had some good results in the previous 2 run-ins of this Moonriders tour, so he's doing well on the overall general classification. As is Casper. Casper's always there or thereabouts, as we see him putting in 360 watts, so he's working hard. Nice tidy cadence, nice high cadence. The Frenchman Contant, he's a class act as well, from Peddlers. I wonder why we didn't get John Beams riding this series. I would have thought this would have suited him, but maybe he's just, you know, he's riding, like I've just watched him riding in the Southern District Wheelers Friday Frenzy, so maybe he's just doing too much. I don't know. But yeah, I would have thought this kind of series would have suited John. It would be nice if we could get time gaps lower down the field as we watch Roy Neal closing up on Wouter. Now they need to work together. If Roy catches Wouter, and this is John Stevens from Moonriders, a rider we've covered quite a lot in the past. John's a really strong rider as well. He did very, very well in the Tour de Alps, finished in the bronze medal position, 3rd place, I believe, with some really good riding. So yeah, John's a class act as well. But they could do it coming together and working together, which it's a tough act when every rider's riding for himself as well. But as we can see, there's a rider coming up behind him, so we've got Hermer in shot, but there's an OTR rider. I just spotted the graphic. There we go, Ryan. So Ryan's catching up with Hermer, Now, can Ryan pull himself further up the field? Currently in 10th spot, only a youngster at 29 years of age, and a fairly tall fella. But you saw him in his pain cave. He really gives it everything. And I love to see that. I've already mentioned it in SDWs, but it bears repeating, folks. Look at Ryan now in his pain cave. We need more riders to start verifying themselves, to start doing this. Get yourself a webcam, get yourself in the Zoom room so that we can see you in action and verify your performances. Look, it's blowing. Mind you, 400 and odd watts he's putting out, so yeah, you can see why he's hurting. And obviously he's on the climb. We can't see what percentage it is at the moment, but yeah. Now then, this is a rider I've seen before, but I'm not quite sure what team he's riding for. Eduardo. And then we've got Spillane. Padre, I think you pronounce that. Padre Spillane. That's an Irish name, isn't it? I believe. I think so. He's putting out 5 watt kilos. And then Lyndon Poco. Now, Lyndon has just ridden the Southern District Wheelers Friday Frenzy event as well. So he's probably got tired legs, but he's still putting in a good effort here. You know, 300 watts and 5 watt kilos. Yeah. I just admire these riders that can double up on events and still put in good performances. And this is Neil from my team OTR, Neil Walker. Looks nice and steady. Putting in 4 watt kilos. And this is the steeper part of the climb. I said it went to around 10%, and I wasn't far off the mark there. I think we just saw 10.3, yeah. So yeah, 10% climb. Now I don't know what this second part is like, but it does look like there's some steeper sections in the second part as well, possibly even a little bit over 10, as we watch Lee Haywood. Now Lee's the Orbea Bikes ambassador. He wears the GBR kit, but he's the ambassador for Orbea in the UK. Out of Devon in the UK, and very lightweight rider at 58.5 kilos. So weighs almost nothing, but he's only a small guy at 168. Chased by Holmes, who's now just getting on his wheel, but putting in a threshold effort to get there. And then we've got Isifor from Moonriders. I never quite know what to make. I think it's Ivor, yes, Ivor Isifor. And like I say, I never really know what to make of him, because I've seen him putting in some amazingly strong performances, and then he's way off the pace in other races. So perhaps he just chooses particular races where they suit him, and that's where he's able to put in his best performances. A good rider, but like I say, I can't quite work him out. Now we're watching Casper and Gav working together. They're trying to bring back Hana, Zach Hana, who's leading the race at the moment. Now I don't know what the gap is. We'll get a time gap very shortly, folks, and we'll be able to tell you what the gap is. But Hana's got 11.5 kilometers to go. as we go back further down the field. Here we go. That's the halfway banner. So that was the halfway banner you saw. They're on the downhill now, so they are putting in like 60 to 70 kilometre an hour efforts here. And these two should be able to pull back some of that. In fact, you can see them in the distance. They should be able to pull back some of that distance if they're working together and really pushing on. And I know for a fact that these two, they've worked together in the past, even though they're not teammates. So they will be working together. They will be doing their level best to try and pull back some of this gap. But I have to say, Zach is just looking very, very strong. He's not losing ground to them at all, or not much. The strongest performance I've seen from Gavash was when he rode with John Beams in the Tour du Alps, and he helped John get a first place and take, I think on that particular stage, I think it was stage 4, was it the Queen stage, they took 8 minutes out of the previous leader, which was Daniel, oh I forget his name, the Chilean rider. Anyway, the leader of the Tour du Alps up until, and he'd won 3 of the 4 stages. Forget his last name, but Daniel. And John not only overturned the 5-minute deficit, he gained another 3 minutes. So he took 8 minutes out of the leader in the Tour du Alps, thanks to Gav. Him and Gav working on the downhills on the Queen stage, and it was an absolutely stunning ride, a superb race, a superb ride by Gavash and John Beams. And if you want to check it out, it's on my YouTube channel, so nip over there and have a look, because even if you only watch the final coming into the finish, it was a race well worth watching. But this is getting a bit exciting, folks, because as I'm whittling away here, you can see that they're closing the gap. They've got it down to 300 meters now. They're working really, really strongly together. And you know, this could come back. This could come back. They're pulling it back meter by meter, very slowly, but they are pulling it back. I mean, and Casper's a class act. I've watched Casper quite a few times. So you can see they're going through and off and taking turns to Casper's going into threshold, as you can see. And then what he'll do is he'll do his threshold effort to pull back some of this gap, and then Gav, if Gav can hold his wheel, will then come past and do his turn, and Casper will get some recovery. And that's the way to do it. Basically, you're doing like a 2-up time trial, taking turns. Casper must be listening to me, because he's just given me a wave, and they probably are. They're probably listening into the broadcast, or even watching the broadcast. So I hope so anyway. And if not, they can catch it later, both on the ZMS Facebook page and on my YouTube channel. So we'll have the full races, both the SDW, Friday Frenzy and this race will be on both. They'll be on the ZMS Facebook link and my YouTube channel. So they've got it down to 200 meters now, just over 200 meters, and still putting in, as we see Zach try and raise it. He's just pulled out a little bit more there, as you saw him going into threshold. So I don't know what's happening to his wattage though. It's showing him 0.1 watt kilos there. Is he freewheeling down the hill? Yep, they've pulled back. Yeah, so they're on the downhill as well, and that's where they're making up the time on Zach. They're making up the time on the downhill, which is exactly what Gav did with John Beams. He pulled John Beams along on the downhill in the Tour de Alps, as I said, stage 4, the Queen stage, and they pulled out a huge gap over the chasers. So. But they're going to run out of, they're running out of flat and downhill. It's going to come to the climb, and who's got the strength on the climb? Like I say, I don't know anything about Zach Hana, so, but it did look like he was very strong on the climb. We'll have to wait and see. Now this is the third group on the road. This, there's a couple of riders in between, but this is the third group on the road. And they're not going to, no, sadly these guys are not going to get back into the action. They could well be fighting for a couple of places in the top 10 between them. As you see, Spillane trying to push off the front and push the pace up. But these four really need to stay together. You can see Ryan absolutely blowing, but determined to get on the wheel. And if he gets on the wheel, there you go, putting in an effort to get on the wheel, and once he's on the wheel he can take advantage of the draft. There he goes, and look how many watts he's saving. That's canny riding, Ryan, well done, good riding. But he's gone past now. But these four riders really need to work together and push the pace, and then fight it out towards the end of the stage. And here we go, folks, 50 meters now. They've got him, you know. Now, the question is, how many matches has Zach Hana burned with this effort? Yeah, Matt's saying Zach will launch away on the climb. And to be honest, I suspect that's what he's going to do, because he did look very, very strong on the previous climb when he actually got his gap. And if he does the same on this climb and can hold it, then yeah, he's got enough of a gap here. But they've got him down to 30 meters now. The only thing that worries me is that you've got Gav and Casper have split, albeit not by much, but they've split. And ideally they could do with being together and working together. But I'm sure Gav knows what he's doing. He's probably just pacing himself, and he's going to settle into the climb. We've already seen he tends to do this. He tends to settle himself in. So he'll be working to a plan here. Now, can Zach drop Hedidum now that he's caught him? And this is the right tactic to use. Folks, what you do is you wait for the rider, well, you don't wait, but when the rider gets to your back wheel, you put in a surge and just see whether he's used up all his energy trying to get back onto your wheel, or whether he's got anything left. It does look like Casper's answering. He's going into threshold, so it looks like he's answering and saying nope, I'm going to try and stay with you. He's got 19 meters. Big effort here from Casper. He's got a nice climbing cadence, nice high climbing cadence. He's not a grinder. Whereas I think you could say Gav is a grinder. He's like pushing a 659, 60 sort of range. A little bit more now that it's easing off a bit, but yeah, I'd call Gav a grinder. What about this fella? Mid. He's in the 70s, so but he does look strong, and they've obviously Nopinz race 3R have obviously pulled him into this event as a bit of a ringer, I think. As we take a look at Christoph, who I've mentioned in the past. Christoph is regularly commenting on my YouTube channel, which I thank you very much, Christoph. But he seems like a genuinely nice fella and certainly a good rider. As we watch him putting in 5 watt kilos. William Bono said that Zach is like a thoroughbred racehorse compared to these Shetland ponies. No, William, I don't think you can call the likes of Hedidam and Casper, Casper, Hedidam and Gavash Shetland ponies. And even Wout. I mean, Wout, you know, he's leading the standings at the moment, so he's no Shetland pony. And to be fair, look at Wout now. He's in 6th place, so you know, and it isn't over yet. He could well climb a bit higher. And you've seen, you know, there you go. You were saying your man's like a thoroughbred, but Casper's taking him at the moment. Stuart, why aren't you racing tonight, Stuart? Hey, where's your race shirt? Yeah, these two are going to duke it out, aren't they? Because Casper's showing that he's strong, but the question is Zach taking it easy and recovering, or has he genuinely as we watch Casper going into the red again? Well, they both are. They're both battling it out in. So I think Gav at 60 odd meters behind, a little bit more actually. It looks like 90. So as we look at Casper again, almost 400 watts there he was putting in. Settling in a bit now as the slope's easing, but it just looks very, very smooth. Now the question is, can Zach Harner pull away on the steeper section which is coming up? This is going to be telling. I think it's this next section which is going to tell us who the likely winner is going to be between these two, and it is between these two now. I think we'll discount Gav. 90 meters, I can't see him pulling that back with these under 4 kilometers to go. 3.7 kilometers to go, and I can't see Gav pulling that back. You forgive me for saying so, Gav, but I don't know. Unless you've saved it, mate. Unless you've been pacing yourself and you've saved it, but it's a tough ask. Yeah, the gap's actually going out, so I don't expect Gav to come back to these two, because these two are going to push the pace up as they try to break each other. But that's interesting race, and Gav will cement his place, you know, towards the top of the leaderboard. And he's got them in sight as well, so it's not over for him by any means. There's still, well, 3.4 kilometers to go, so there's every chance he could get back. But and I wonder whether Casper's got that in mind, whether he's got in mind that Gav could come back, or no, he's not going to. No, they're pulling it out to over 100 meters now. So sadly, Gav isn't going to get back to them. I think he's settled for his 3rd place, and he's in no danger of losing his 3rd place, because as you can see, the riders behind, the next group behind, there's some 300 meters plus further back, so they're not going to catch Gav. But these two are just, they're just throwing punches at each other, aren't they? 1 minute it's Zach, the next minute it's Casper. Fascinating battle. And this is why I really enjoy covering these races, folks, because I knew it was going to be an exciting ride tonight. I do think had we seen more of the Nopinz team taking part, we would have seen team tactics. We would have seen the sort of like off the front, stretch the elastic, see if they can break it kind of technique that we saw in the first race. But when you've got a rider like Zach Harner, then I suppose well, Stuart Murray, I'll just read his message. I'll hopefully be back next week. Rode my ankle on a run on Wednesday. Cheering on from the OTR team bus for now. Okay, well, I don't know where our OTR boys are, Stuart, at the moment. I don't know who our top rider is on the standings at the moment. Probably Ryan, actually. Ryan Dummer, yeah. I'm hoping Ryan can get in the top 10. He's there in 11th place, but he's a chance of making the top 10. So hopefully we'll do so. As we, I do like this dual picture mode, folks, where we can watch the two guys up front battling it out, and we can also watch further down the field. Gav's pulled back a few more meters as we watch these two just throwing punches at each other, and 1 minute it's one of them off the front, the next minute it's the other. Nothing in it, absolutely nothing in it. And I'll be honest, I couldn't pick a winner between the two of them. I think it's going to come down to like a sprint on the last hill. There's Ryan. So hopefully Ryan is in 11th at the moment, but he's got two riders in front of him. Hopefully he can overhaul one of them or even both of them and make it into the... There he goes, look. He's probably listening to me. So hopefully he can overhaul one of the riders in front and hold on to his 10th place. Maybe even both. Like I said, he's a rider that gives it everything, and you can see that from his pain cave camera. He doesn't hold back. So 1.8 kilometers for the leaders, just about 2 kilometers for Gav. And I think these riders are just sort of like sitting in, and they're gonna fight it out a bit further up the climb. But all the action really is here at the front, and like I say, Gavash doesn't have to worry about his place. He's not going to lose his third place. He's not going to catch these riders up the front. So it's just a case of who's going to finish first and who's going to finish second. It's definitely between these two. So watch them going around the hairpin. Who's your money on, folks? 1.2 kilometers to go now. I think we should have a Flamme Rouge in this race. I didn't see one in the Friday Frenzy SDW race, but we've had one. There it is. There's the Flamme Rouge. So what's going to be the tactic here? Because it is really an uphill finish. All right, it flattens off for the last meter probably, but I'm saying meter for the last couple of meters, but it is basically an uphill sprint. All right, it's not a steep sprint, although I think it does kick up a little bit more towards the top. You can see they're just playing cat and mouse with each other. Casper going into the red. Who's your money on, folks? Look at Hannah sat on the wheel. But I'm going to go for Casper. I think Casper will get this. So we'll see what happens. And this is why I think Casper will get it, because I don't think he'll come back. Oh, I'm wrong, no. Maybe it's too, yeah, there's still 500 metres. I do think Casper will get on the wheel and then jump past. I think that will be his tactic. I mean, I would stay just where he is now and just, although he's got to be careful he doesn't let a gap open. Yeah, I think he knows what he's doing. Oh no, he's gone. No, he's lost it. So it looks like, yeah, he's got it now. He's not going to pull back that. Just too strong at the end. Well, I can't pick the winner every week. I get a good number right, folks. But yeah, Zach Harner has just pulled away. 9 watt kilos we're seeing from him there. He pulls out a gap. It's not going to come back fast enough for Casper. And well done, Hannah. Well done. That's a good ride to finish. As we watch Headedham, he's just easing up now slightly, which he can afford to do. Just easing in. He's not going above threshold here. He's just easing in to the finish. His legs are probably hurting. There we go. So Casper takes second. Gavy's going to come in third. But there's a couple of interesting battles a bit lower down the field. So Nopinz Race 3R are going to take first and fourth, because Stanley is certainly not going to get caught for his fourth place. And he's putting in a strong finish. So there's Gav. Well done, sir. And this is Stanley. Now he'll finish in fourth. Have we got a battle for fifth? No, I think fifth place is going to go to Wouter. He's not going to get caught either. Yeah, well done, Matt. He looks strong. Yeah, okay, Liam. I was only saying Casper because I've watched him quite a lot and he has got a bit of a kick on him. But to be fair to your bloke, yeah, he kicked his ass. I mean, that was a very impressive kick he did at the end there. So I'll take my hat off. Well done. It'll be interesting to see where this leaves the standings now, with Wouter coming in fifth place. We'll have to wait and see. There we go. Yeah, he's got a 90-meter gap over Christoph Contant. So, and Christoph is in no danger of losing his sixth place. So here we go. So he's wearing the yellow. The reason why he's not wearing the Moonriders jerseys is wearing the yellow jersey as tour leader after 3 stages. Now I don't know whether he's still leading the tour with his 4th place today. I suspect he will be, because the fact that Matt was in 2nd place. I suspect he'll have held on as we watch Christoph coming in now. And then we've got Roy Neild and not far behind John Stevens. So can those two have a bit of a battle, or has Roy got a good... yeah, Roy's got 24 metres coming. Oh, No, John's not going to catch him. No, this, and it's a fresh old effort as well, so he's making sure he stays away from John Stevens. So yeah. To be fair though, he's pegging him. This is going to be he's going to have to sprint for the finish, I think, because good old Johnny's giving him a battle here. Well done, John. Nice riding. I like to see that when riders lower down the field, just give it everything. And yeah, 6.7 watt kilos going over the line. Well done, Roy, and well done, John. Okay, so who's next to come in? Eduardo, that's right. Oh, but look at this. Ryan, come on, Ryan, come on. OTR, Ryan Dummer, come on, Ryan. Kick. Look at him going into the red. He's going into the... Is he going to get him? Is he going to get him? Come on. Come on. Oh. No, come on. Come on, Ryan. Yeah, big effort, big effort. Come on. Oh, I'm cheering here. Come on, Ryan, stay with him. Stay with him. I'm getting excited here, folks. I just want... Because obviously he's my team. OTR are my team, so yeah. Come on, I want him to get a top 10. Come on, Ryan. Yes. Come on. You can do it, you can do it, you can do it. Yes, come on, come on. Yes, top 10. Come on, lad. Keep it going. 100. Oh! No, he's being caught. Come on, Ryan. One last effort. Yes, big sprint. Come on, Ryan. Big sprint. Come on. Come on, come on, come on. Yes! Oh, fantastic. 8th place, I think. 9th? No, 9th place. Well done. He got 2 places right at the end. What a fabulous ride. That's the ride of the night for me, Ryan. Look at him. Just look at him. Yes, well done, Ryan. I'm giving you the thumbs up, mate. Fantastic. Now that is why, folks, I ask more people to use a webcam, please, because not only are you going to verify your performances, but you're going to give some excitement to the commentators. You know, we can see the effort you're putting in. That was brilliant. I mean, did you see him at the end there? He could hardly breathe. What a fantastic effort. And here's another OTR rider now. Can he take a place? Yep, he's going for it. There we go. Oh, but has he got it? Oh, he's Neugebauer. Just going to prove 2. He's just going to prove. Oh, is he? No. Well done. That's 2 on the line we've got tonight. Well done. Oh, fabulous racing. I'm sorry if I'm getting a bit excited, folks, but you know, I enjoy the battles lower down the field just as much as I enjoy watching the winners coming in, because it's every bit as exciting, sometimes more exciting actually, because you get such close battles like we did with Ryan there. I mean, Ryan pulled back 2 places in the last sort of like 30 meters. What a fantastic effort. And look at Issy for you. 5.4. There's no need to do this because there's nobody chasing him, but he's putting in a fresh old effort just to finish. Well done, Ivor. Good ride, mate. Another Dutch rider, Heiler. He's putting in a 5 watt kilo effort, look. And he looks smooth. He looks smooth as silk here. We can't see him being caught by the rider behind him. Yeah, I agree with you, Stuart. That was a fantastic sprint. Well done. Some really good racing tonight. It's been a good couple of hours. I mean, we covered the Friday Frenzy earlier. and then this race, and we're going to watch every rider coming in. But there's a lot of riders I haven't seen before, so we're getting riders coming in some of the events, which, like I say, because you only have to ride 7 out of the 10 to count, your best 7 are the counters, then yeah, I suppose we can see riders coming in at different stages. But also team tactics can play a part there, because you can get some of your stronger riders taking part, and if they're not going for the overall classification, they can do, they can take a win, like happened with Zach tonight. I don't know whether Zach intends riding the rest of the tour, or whether he'll just dip in and out and try and take points off, the leaders, which is a valid tactic. Come in, steal the points, and stop the people at the top of the leaderboard walking away with it. It's a tactic I've seen used quite a lot in previous tours. So I watch Lamont coming in. Oliveira, he's a regular from Portugal. Terence, that's his name. Yes, we watched Terence last week, so we didn't see Steve Bellio last week though, so I think this might be Steve's first go at this tour. I could be wrong. Steve Bellio from OTR. I think this is maybe his first, or could be his second, but I think it's his first. As we and Terence is giving it big licks as well coming into the finish. So they must listen to me, because how many of the riders put in threshold efforts coming into the finish? Really nice to see. Wearing the RGT jersey. And here's Stephen. And there's another, that's Mike Aid from OTR as well. I don't know why Steve isn't wearing the OTR jersey, why he's got Stephen, what jersey is he wearing there? Is it some... Oh, it's USA Crit jersey, that's why. Okay, we'll forgive you then, Stephen. I'll let you off. So, if Stephen's riding the crits, that tells me that he's probably, you won't mind me saying so, one of the bigger riders, which is probably why he struggled tonight, because this kind of terrain won't suit a crit rider, that's for sure. Right, well done. So, how many more riders have we got to come in? Mike Aid coming in. I've seen Mike's name popping up on quite a few races, so I don't know whether this is a top of the table performance by Mike, or whether he's just finding his legs. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I've seen him on the leaderboards in some of the races that OTR run. So thanks, Matt. Yes, it was a great race, mate. I agree with you. Get some more of your lads coming across. Let's have a really good competition. What about Liam? Why isn't... Yeah, that's a point, Liam. You must be listening. Why aren't you racing? Why don't you come across? It'd be nice to see you. I'm talking about Liam Bard, folks. He's the head guru across at Nopinz Race for R. Well, I'm saying head guru. I think he's one of the stronger riders anyway. Well done, Mike. And who's this OTR rider? Is it Jeff? Gabe. Gabe, sorry. I apologise, Gabe. Yeah. He's in my notebook. I just haven't got my notebook to hand now. So what we got? We're going to be around a little bit longer, folks. We've got riders well down the field to come in. Are you okay hanging on, Damon, for the riders to come in? I'm prepared to sit here. There we go. And you can see, as while watching the riders coming in, Damon's put the Tour du Monde 2022 up on screen for you. And that takes place from the 8th to the 23rd of January. It's, I think you'll agree, probably one of the premier events on the calendar, and certainly on RGT. We ran it for the first time last year. I did coverage, although I was working for Team 3R at the time. But I did do quite a lot of coverage on it, and you can find that on my YouTube channel if you want to go and check it out. As we watched Ian Hurst from 3R coming in, big fella. But yeah, the Tour du Monde, there we go. Yeah, just turning the pedals coming in. Well done, Ian. And Poniatowski from Moonriders. Yeah, the Tour du Monde 2022 promises to be a really special tour, because we're going to be more prepared this time around than last time in terms of coverage. I know ZMS are going to cover it as much as they can, and certainly I'm going to be covering it as well when ZMS are AWOL. So it promises to be a what's the word I'm looking for? A well-distributed tour, let's put it that way. There'll be lots of live coverage, and I'm hoping all the big hitters decide to take part in it, because it is the premier tour on RGT. We watch Hudson coming in. Eric. So how many more have we got coming in? We've got two. I think we've got 4 more riders to come in. 5 more riders to come in. But it does look like a couple of the riders are taking it relatively easy towards the back end of the field. We do like to try and cover every rider in tour stages like this coming into the finish. But I will say that if we think that riders are not racing, i.e., you know, they're just spinning the pedals at ridiculously low wattage, then that's not really fair to hang around. And I believe we shouldn't hang around for a rider that's just spinning the pedals. You know, we should finish his broadcast and move on, because we've all got families as well. So it's incumbent upon the riders even further down the field to race and not just spin the pedals. Now, while we're watching these last couple of riders coming in, I will mention as well, we've got various tours. I'm saying we, OTR, have got various tours coming up, both before Christmas and then certainly in the new year. But we also now do a news broadcast every Monday, just after lunchtime. And I'm your host, and what I do is I cover all the weeks and weekends racing. So I'll basically give you the results and all the news, and then we'll discuss, you know, what is upcoming and some of our future plans as well. And there's a bit of an announcement on Monday. Something which I'm going to plan and put forward. So check it out. I'll put the links in the Facebook groups to the news broadcast, and it'll be going out live. In future weeks I may consider pre-recording it, but this Monday, because A, I've been so busy, and B, we've got a house full of sick children, I just haven't had the time to pre-record it, so it will be going out live, I think. I don't think see me doing it this weekend. I think I'm going to have to just do a live broadcast Monday lunchtime. So we've got, is it Fishback? Yeah, Fishback and Lewis on the road. Have we got anybody else coming up? And there you go. You can see on screen now we've got the OTR Tour calendar. Now these are the big events. There's going to be events slotted in between these, because you can see that there's the Tour of Latin America. That's a 5-day tour that kicks off on the 1st of December. That promises to be a good tour. Then you've got the Creme de la Creme, the Tour du Monde. That goes off in January from the 8th to the 23rd. Then the Tour of Oceania kicks off in February. That's a 4-day tour. Then the next big tour, another 2-week tour, is the Tour of North America. That's also in February, but towards the middle to the end of Feb. Then you've got another 5-day tour, the Tour of Asia. And you've got the Tour des Alpes, which was previously the Tour de Suisse, and then called the Tour des Alpes. But now this will be the second running of the Tour des Alpes, and what a fantastic event that was. It was probably the hardest stage race that there's been so far on RGT, and it was pretty spectacular. We had some fantastic racing and some worthy winners. So that returns next October. But what's not on the screen, and what will get announced on Monday in the news programme, but we've also got Chris O'Hearn, which many of you will know from his Omniums and time trials and crits that he runs. Well, Chris O'Hearn is running a series for us in Dubai, and that I think starts on Sunday, this coming Sunday. Could be wrong, but I think I'll announce it on Monday anyway. We'll do an official announcement of that. But yeah, yeah, I'm struggling to remember when it actually does start. Maybe I should have made a note of that one. But so OTR have got a lot going on. Now, how many riders have we got? We've got Lewis, Nicholas, Liendo on the road. Liendo looks to be a long way off the back. Say a long way, 3 kilometers. Yeah, you can see from the graphic, folks, that I'm not so sure. Is that working now? Yeah, I think he's just refreshed it, so we've got it working. Obviously, the white dots that you can see towards the back of the field, they're the ZMS cameras. So they're the bots. Discount them. So basically, you can see on screen. You should be able to see 4 riders, 4 dots on screen. 21st of November. Yes, thank you. I couldn't quite remember. That's very kind of you, Andre. Yeah, this is my friend Chris O'Hearn that's going to be running that, so you can be assured it will be a really nice series. Chris used to live out in Dubai, so he knows the roads personally. Paul Nichols has digitized them for him, so promises to be an exciting series. And I think he's going to switch around between Omniums, TTs, crits. So it should be an interesting series. It's only going to be short, but yeah, it should be really interesting. And we'll cover that live, folks. It can often be difficult, spare a thought for your commentators, because it can often be difficult to sort of like fill out the broadcast at this stage of the broadcast. Basically, trying to find something to chatter on about and stay focused, which is no disservice to the riders. I enjoy watching the riders at the tail end of the stages coming in, just like I enjoy watching the riders further up the field. It's also a chance for me to learn people's names and make notes, which I invariably do, so that next time around I can usually give the rider a shout out, or usually remember that I've got a terrible memory, which is why I write them down. But yeah, usually I can get my notepad out and looking forward to some RGT races now that the calendar really looks busy and we have many choices. I agree with you, Andre. In fact, some might say there's too many events, but you know, rather too many than too little. There is certainly a lot to choose from. And I'll be honest, as a commentator and as somebody that wants to get back to doing my own streams as well as working for ZMS, I'm finding it difficult because I'm being kept so busy by Damon over at ZMS. I'm not having the time to do my own. And to be fair, I do enjoy commentating and not actually having to jump on the bike or having to worry about that side of it. When you're just commentating, it's a lot easier to do. And I think the quality is better. Damon's pointed this out to me. The quality when you're riding and trying to commentate at the same time, and it just doesn't work for me. I think the quality suffers. And I've done it myself in the past, and to be fair, the broadcasts I've done where I've ridden and tried to commentate haven't been anywhere near the standard as like when I did the Tour de Monde and I stopped riding and decided just to do the commentary. The stages where I did the commentary only were far better produced than the stages where I actually rode, even though I enjoyed riding. I didn't ride that much because I remember taking ill partway through the tour, so I concentrated on just covering it, and thankfully I was able to do that quite successfully. So here we go, it's just getting onto the slopes of the last climb, so this is going to hurt a little bit, but only 1.3 kilometers to go. What I'll mention again, folks, while we're watching Liendo coming in, the Tour du Alpes, which was previously known as the Tour de Suisse before we had to change the name, the Tour du Alpes, go and check out some of the videos, because Paul Nicholls, I gave him the nickname Cruella. For those of you that don't know who Cruella is, then you need to go and watch 1001 Dalmatians. But Cruella, Nicholls, as we've now called him, was putting in like 10–15% climbs within the last kilometre of a lot of the stages. I mean, these poor riders were all, you know, they were climbing like thousands of meters of climbing and then having to finish it off with like 15% sections in the last few hundred meters. I mean, his cruelty knew no bounds. It was horrendous. I mean, it was fun. It was fun to commentate on, but fun for me. But it certainly wasn't fun for the riders. And that's what made it such a good tour, because it was bloody hard. I mean, nobody who finished that tour, and the riders, like we're watching Liendo here, that came in towards the back end of the field. I remember on the Queen stage, it took the winners 2 hours to complete the Queen stage. There was that much climbing in it. And as I say, there was stupidly steep sections right at the end of that 2 hours. But then the riders at the back of the field, it took 4 hours. 4 hours to ride the Queen stage and come in. And we covered it. We covered every rider coming in, which was just, yeah, it was silly. I know Nick, I could be mistaken. Was it the STW race he was in, Andre? But basically, Nick is he's a well-known rider. I'm pretty sure he's taken part in international competitions over on Swift, where they had to turn up in the studio and everything was verified, and you know, they did it under the cameras. I'm pretty sure that's the same guy. I hope I'm not mistaken, but I don't think I am. I'm sure that's the same Nick. And if it is, he's a really top class act rider. So, but these are all things I make. Well done, Urko. Well done, sir, for coming in. Oh, here we go. This is stage 4. I was hoping we'd get the graphic up. So, longer distance on Monday, 32 kilometers. A bit less elevation than we've had today, but they're still going to feel the almost 700 meters. And now this will be one that Matt Looker will want to do, because he'll probably know these roads in real life. Matt's from the Isle of Wight, so he should know these roads. Perhaps somebody will message me on Monday and tell me. But yeah, he should know these roads in real life, so it should be a good race. I assume he'll be back for it, and I'm looking forward to commentating. It's getting exciting now with tonight's result, with Wouter falling down the standings a little. That's going to open up the points classification, give other riders a chance to catch up, and that makes for more exciting racing, folks. And I, for one, I'm really looking forward to it. Can't wait. So have a good weekend. Don't forget the news broadcast on. Here we go. Ah, there we go, look. What a star this Andre is. Okay. So, yeah. Interesting. So Wouter has still got a nice 20-point gap at the top of the standings. Gavi's moved up into second place now with 5. Wouter's got 545. This is after 3 results. And Gavi's got 525 points in total. Max Stanley has moved up into 3rd place. And look at Jan Linden Poco go. He's now in 4th place, and Ryan is in 5th. So everything to play for, folks. This is looking good. But don't forget, riders can drop their worst result. So even though we haven't had Matt Looker and Steve Brierley taking part tonight, they'll be back. They'll be back to take part, and I'm pretty sure both of them will do 7 events. So they're going to obviously fit in somewhere into that leaderboard, and you haven't got to forget that. Anyway, on that note, folks, I'm going to say good night and thank you for watching. Everybody take care. Check out my news program on Monday, and then we'll see you at 7:30 p.m. UK time on Monday evening. Stay safe, everybody. Bye for now.